Okay. So the Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden has been taking some heat from critics who say he's naive to think he can work with Republicans. But he had a message for them on the campaign trail. Watch.
You got to make it clear to Republicans that you understand on some things there is a rationale for compromise. And so, folks, look, if you start off with the notion there's nothing you can do, well, why don't you all go home then, man? Or let's start a real physical revolution if you're talking about it. Because we have to be able to change what we're doing within our system.
But when Biden was VP, Mitch McConnell spent 8 years shooting down anything Obama wanted to do. So why does he think he'll want to work with him all of a sudden? We're assuming McConnell will still be there. If Kentucky gets their heads around the right thing, they'll get rid of McConnell. But unfortunately, I think he will be reelected and continue to obstruct. What do you think? And what do you think about him?
Look, I think Biden is running a general election. He's not running a primary campaign.
Right.
He's not engaging his primary opponents. And he's trying to be very kumbaya. What he's got going for him, what people like, is his electability. And I think what he's trying to do is appeal to disenfranchised Republicans like me, to centrist independents. That's why he's talking about winning places like Florida, like North Carolina, like South Carolina, which he mentioned yesterday that he's not going to give up on, because he's figuring out, how am I going to beat Trump? And he's getting a lot of help from Trump. A guy who is so obsessed by Biden, he can't stop himself from attacking him constantly. He fired his pollsters for leaking true information about him getting beaten by Biden. So, honestly, Donald Trump has made Joe Biden already his general campaign opponent, and Joe Biden is making Trump the campaign opponent.
To your one little point is that Trump continues with divisiveness,
Right.
and Biden is going against that, which I think is smart.
It is smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have one, for me, it's Merrick Garland. I think that it's very clear that Mitch McConnell changed the rules for Merrick Garland. He's been obstreperous from the very beginning. It's why the Supreme Court looks the way that it looks. And McConnell has played partisan politics from the very beginning. He's been obstreperous. He's been an obstructionist.
Yeah.
He has had no interest in being bipartisan. And all of a sudden, Joe Biden thinks when he's president, Mitch McConnell is going to play ball. He is not going to play ball at all. He's going to only play ball if you play on his court with his rules. And I'm not buying it.
Well, the only way to get what you want, then, you have to take all three houses, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the executive branch.
No question.
And then you just do what you want.
This is Mitch McConnell's Senate.
But the Senate's not going to go Democrat, maybe, so that's a problem.
No.
What do you say?
I like it, but I may be in the minority. I like compromise. I yearn for the era of Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. I yearn for a time when we can talk to one another and it doesn't turn into divisive tribalism. I was texting with a friend of mine who is a public person on the left, and I said, thank you for never treating me like a pariah. And he said the same thing. And I think that we need to get back to a place where disagreeing on how you view the role of government and our politics doesn't mean that you can't talk to one another. And I think across the board, both sides are equally responsible for it. And I think it's a winning message. And I like the idea that we can actually sit down and compromise. But again, I don't know if the tribal left is going to go for it.
Yeah.
And see, and for me, if you look at the stats, Mitch McConnell, Senate Republican, blocked 79 Obama nominees. Up until that point in the entire history of the U.S., only 68 presidential nominees have been blocked. I don't think it's a bipartisan issue. I think it's Mitch McConnell's Senate
He's got to go.
Republican.
Let's face it. He's got to go. Kentucky, are you listening?
Biden is able to do this. Do you think? But I want to know what you think is going to happen. Kentuckians are watching The View and they're like, Joy says Mitch McConnell's got to go, so I guess it's done.
Yes, I believe that.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
And I think that we have to be talking
One
to
of my
another.
favorite people is from Kentucky. She passed away, unfortunately. Rosemary Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
Not all Kentuckians are on Mitch McConnell's. And
She's dead.
some of the, I know she is.
But she don't know what political side should be on Mitch McConnell.
I know her. I knew her.
Okay, all right.
And they make great bourbon.
Great bourbon.
You know what? He's reaching out to what I call all right, never mind. The stage manager has a nervous breakdown over there. No wonder Whoopi goes crazy here. When we come back, Britain just banned